Talk about the team at this point, Henry. 5-17. We've seen, a lot of games that have gone this similar way, like they did on Wednesday night in Houston.
Scott, it's a very tough place for the Sacramento Kings right now, and and I really understand why. When you watch their games, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to understand what's going on here. A lot of games have been determined once the Kings' opposition really understands that we really don't have anything at the rim. We really don't have a rebounding game. We really don't have an inside game. And once teams figure that out, we seen it in the Houston game. Houston tried to play a little small ball game with us going up and down. Kings are pretty good at that. They are pretty good at small ball game. But once teams say, wait a minute, they have nothing at the rim. All we have to do is attack the rim. Then the Kings are in problem. They're in trouble.
No doubt about that. No doubt. Once they figure out they can take advantage of them inside, the Kings have a tough time competing. There's no doubt about that.
And that's where it's at, Scott. That's pretty much where it's at. And I don't think that you can really, grade it right now because our number one guy that takes up a lot of that responsibility is Sabonis, and he's not on the floor for us right now. So it's looking, very dismal. But I think if Sabonis and Keegan are on the floor at the same time, you might see a little bit more of a competitive nature in that front court.
No doubt. And that's the one thing the Kings haven't had a chance to see, unfortunately, is Keegan and Sabonis on the floor at the same time. The moment Keegan came back is the moment that Sabonis went out. He still has the meniscus tear in his left knee. Timeline still a little bit uncertain as the Kings did get out rebounded 45-32 in that contest against Houston on Wednesday. But a bright spot inside, even though we're talking about the Kings missing Sabonis, we're seeing Maxime Reynaud certainly get some experience, and he's growing up quickly in his rookie year in the NBA.
And Max is looking pretty decent out there. That just goes to show, Scooter, where your front court is when Maxime Reynaud is one of the best guys that you have at your disposal to put out there on the floor. But I'm happy that the young man is finally, getting a chance to get out there and show what he can do. We've seen, how he could play in Vegas. He was very promising in Vegas. So now that he gets to get out there and mix it up with the big boys and he's starting to have some success, I'm liking it.
No, big-time success. 25.6 rebounds, 32 minutes off the bench for Sacramento. He was a definite bright spot for the Kings. Again, it was that third quarter that was really the undoing for Sacramento in that game. You look at it, they got outscored 36-19. And Henry, I know we've talked about this a lot too, but it's still a story when you see Zach LaVine play just a little over 18 minutes, 5 shots, 2 points, 1 assist, 1 rebound.
That's something that the upper brass is going to have to deal with. I mean, at this particular point, no way you only have that type of numbers when you're the head of the snake. It's just unacceptable. If you're not going to give me numbers better than that, you can bring your rookie in and say, hey, you know what? This is your team now. Go out there and show me if you can be an alpha. And he's going to give you more than 7 attempts. Now, he might not make no more than what Zach made, but at the end of the day, he's going to give you more attempts. You can't win the ball. You can't outscore your opponent if you don't shoot the ball.
No doubt about it. The Kings got Zach LaVine to be a volume shooter. He's one of the best three-point shooters in the league, and right now the Kings just are not getting that from Zach LaVine. What about the Rockets? Obviously, they're 14-5. A lot of people thought when they lost Van Vliet, even though they went out and got Kevin Durant, a huge offseason acquisition, they thought without Van Vliet, they probably couldn't compete for a championship. Well, they're looking awfully good, and they're making adjustments even without their point guard.
They are, Scooter, and they really have a lot of plug-and-play type players. Thompson isn't a point guard, but he's running point guard for them. Kevin Durant isn't a point guard, but he's doing a lot of the facilitating and the ball handling for them. So, they can move some players around and still be able to win basketball games.
No doubt about that. And how about Kevin Durant? I mean, he just continues to have one of the best careers in NBA history. he hits the 31,000 point plateau, becoming just the 8th player ever to reach that honor. It's unbelievable what Kevin Durant's been able to do. He did that Friday night. It wasn't in the Kings game. He did it last night against the Suns. But, I mean, to think about that, only 8 players in the history of the league to have 31,000 career points. He's one of them.
I mean, the dude's a walking bucket. I mean, he's tailor-made for basketball, and he loves the game. You know, he understands, and basketball IQ is to the point to where, you know, you can almost plug and play with him. That's why he's working so seamlessly with Houston. Pretty much everywhere KD has been, he has been a plug-and-play guy. It really hasn't been him that is lacking. Even when he went to Brooklyn, you know, KD still played KD-style ball. Same thing when he was in Phoenix. KD still played KD type of ball. It was the others that didn't step their game up. So, you know, Kevin Durant is an exceptional talent in this league, but he is a player that can be, okay, a piece of the puzzle.
There's no doubt about that. He's still a key piece of what Ime Udoka is trying to get done in Houston. The 8 players, by the way, the 7 others in addition to Kevin Durant, Wilt Chamberlain, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Michael Jordan, Karl Malone, Kobe Bryant, Dirk Nowitzki, and LeBron James. But, you know, that's company I'd like to be in, High Flyer.
I was about to say, all of those guys have been multi-MVP type candidates, right?
Yeah, that's rarefied air. That's as rare as it gets.
No doubt.
You know, that's pretty awesome. Congratulations to Kevin Durant. When you look at the Rockets, obviously what OKC is doing right now is unbelievable, and you have to talk about them about potentially having a chance to be one of the historic great teams. Not a team that's just trying to defend an NBA championship, but their 22-1 start right now is putting them in that kind of talk of what the Warriors did when they won 73 and the Bulls with 72. I mean, that's kind of where it's going early in this season. The Rockets are in second place at 15-5. Do you feel like Houston, it's early, there'll be a lot of changes, we understand that, but do you feel like Houston right now, as they're constituted, is a team that can compete against OKC in a Western Conference final or wherever they do meet up?
Oh, yeah, the door is open. The door is definitely open for Houston to definitely step up and be able to contend with OKC, even though I still put OKC ahead of Houston because of the point guard situation. But let's say if Houston can go out and, you know, once trade lines get the hit and, you know, free agents get the move, if they can go out there and get them a legitimate point guard, and I'm talking about a point guard that can facilitate. They don't need a point guard that can score. All they need is a point guard who can pass the ball to the right person at the right time, and a point guard that's going to pick up and play defense. And you can pretty much find those on the market once NBA teams start trading.
Yeah, no question about that. All right, it's Kings in Miami tonight. Kings have had a couple of days off in South Beach. High Flyer, you know, we always joke around about South Beach flu. I'm not saying it's not a real thing, but, you know, we always have a good time with that. Kings have had a lot of time in Miami. Maybe it can do the reverse for them because obviously it's been a rough start to this year. Maybe some warm air, some South Beach vibe. Maybe that can get the Kings going today.
Anything, Scott, at this particular point, whatever it takes by any means necessary, if it was going to take rest, if it's going to take extra practice, if it's going to take sitting out on South Beach sand with a pina colada in your hand, whatever it takes to get these guys up and going and getting them motivated to play the style of basketball that they need to play, I'm for it.
Yeah, no, we'll take whatever we can get. And High Flyer, I'm just curious. I mean, especially in today's age where players, I mean, if they walk anywhere, they're instantly identified. They're put up on social media. Is it kind of like back in your day where players could still go out and have a little fun on off nights? I mean, it's not really the same, is it?
I think you can. It just depends upon what city you're in. You know, Miami would be one of those cities to where, you know, pro players are being seen all the time. You know, Atlanta, pro players are seen all the time. L.A., pro players are seen all the time. Houston, New York, you can go out and you know, have a good time. No problem.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, we'll see what the Kings did with the time off. If nothing else, they had some time to rest and reflect, got in some practices, and hopefully they were able to take advantage of that. And I think a theme that we're going to continue to see, obviously Maxine's going to continue to play because he's earning those minutes. I think we're going to see more of Nate Clifford as well and see what the Rook can give the Sacramento Kings.
But, just seeing the new talent be able to get out there and show what they can do, is a blessing. I mean, we understand that the season's not going quite the way that we like, but at some particular point, you're going to have to be at this juncture to where you have to really cultivate your talent. So, seeing that those guys are probably speeding up the process for us, but it is what it is, and we get a chance to see these guys and see what they can do in the NBA.
No doubt. So that's something we'll look forward to here. Miami also is coming off a game last night where they lost a tough one in Orlando. We'll see if that affects them at all. The Kings have had plenty of time to prepare for this. All right, game night's underway. Again, I'm coming to you live from UC Davis. The second round of the FCS playoffs coming your way later on tonight. The Aggies taking on Rhode Island. We've got Kings basketball for you first. The Kings are in Miami to take on the Heat. We'll continue to break that down. We'll go around the league as well. And something that happens as often as the sun rising every day actually did not happen for LeBron James. We'll talk about that as well. It happened in a last-second Laker win. We'll get into that, too, because I think it shows how great a teammate LeBron James is. I want to talk to you about that high flyer. It's Game Night. It's brought to you by Mercedes-Benz of Stockton. Check out their full line of luxury vehicles at mbfstockton.com. More Game Night right here, Sactown Sports 1140.
You never know what you might hear when listening to a Sacramento Kings game.
Out of Keegan, going for another triple. Man, is he feeling it. Keegan, can he do it? Yes! There's number 11, Keegan Murray. Keegan steps back. He just knocked down his 12th three-pointer, a Kings franchise record. He's got 45 points.
Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with Sactown Sports and the Sactown Sports app.
Hi, this is Henry Turner, aka the High Flyer. I've done a lot of amazing things on the basketball floor, but now it's your turn to be amazing. For more than 55 years, Big Brothers and Big Sisters of Sacramento has helped out the youth beat the many odds. Too many littles, especially boys, are still waiting for volunteers, Big Brothers. Volunteers to spend at least 4 to 6 hours a month with local youth who needs guidance and support. So donate your time to Big Brothers and Big Sisters of the greater Sacramento area. Get involved. It's easy as a layup. Call 916-646-9300.
Just how good is Pure Talk's current deal for unlimited wireless? Well, you might say it's the deal of your lifetime. Because right now, for just $29.95 a month, Pure Talk is offering unlimited talk, text, and data for life. Not your phone's life, your life. This is Pure Talk's top-tier plan. It comes with a crazy fast 5G network along with a 30-gig hotspot. And at just $29.95 a month, there has never been a better opportunity to lock in a ridiculously low rate for as long as you live. And save thousands and thousands of dollars along the way. This plan is normally $65 a month, but if you switch today, you will save over 50% every single month for the rest of your life. See what I mean? It really is the deal of your lifetime. Dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe. Offer ends 12/7. Some restrictions apply. Details at puretalk.com.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free exit info kit. 800-838-6767. That's 800-838-6767.
With Progressive's Name Your Price tool, you get coverage options based on how much you want to pay for car insurance. And then you decide how to spend the rest of your money, because you're in charge. Today, you're going to pay down your credit card bill. But you decide when you'll pay it. Before the due date, so those interest charges don't get you. But you decide if you pay it in full. But you definitely should, because again, interest charges. With Progressive's Name Your Price tool, we'll help you find coverage at a fair price. And then you're in charge. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Not available in all states. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
Growing your business? It's all about having the right team on the court. At Bank of Marin, we partner with businesses in the greater Sacramento area, delivering personalized service and local expertise to help you make a slam dunk. Whether it's customized lending or solutions to keep your business growing, you'll benefit from local decision-making. Expanding, acquiring additional assets, or building a lasting banking relationship? We're ready for tip-off. Bank of Marin, your local business bank. Visit us at bankofmarin.com. Member FDIC.
Hi, this is Adam Ortner, co-owner of the historic Firehouse Restaurant in Old Sacramento. We're celebrating 65 years of excellence this season. Come visit us where our motto is guests first. We are locally owned and have been in the capital city since 1960. Come experience our finest steaks, chops, and fresh seafood. The Firehouse also has the Central Valley's most awarded wine selection. Level up your pregame at the Firehouse for a quick and easy meal with valet parking for just $10.
1140. Scott Marshall up with the high flyer, Henry Turner. Game night being brought to you by Power Business Technology. Experience how the Power of family can help your business office equipment needs today. Contact them at 844-POWER-BZ or go to powercopiers.com. Kings and Heat tonight, 3-game road trip for Sacramento. They finish up in Indiana, and we know the Pacers, how mightily they're struggling. You got to think the Kings a great chance to get a win there. Sacramento just 5-17. It's their worst start to a year since the 2010-2011 campaign, where they started off at 5-23. So we'll see if the Kings can get something going here. Of course, the games for the Cup were added since the Kings did not make it into the quarterfinals of that. The 2 games added Thursday night. They'll be back at home to take on the Joker and the Denver Nuggets. Back out on the road on Sunday to take on Minnesota. If you want to join the program, you can. Give us a call at 916-339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. We'd love to hear from you as well. But right now, High Flyer, I want to talk about outside the Kings a little bit. We mentioned LeBron before. He's obviously one of 8 players to score over 31,000 points. He has more points than any other player than NBA history. We understand that. He's over 40,000 points. But I thought what he did the other night in Toronto to win the game and sacrifice what he could have possibly done in that game was remarkable. And what I'm talking about is LeBron James scoring fewer than 10 points for the first time in a regular season game, going back to 18 years, a streak that lasted 1,297 games, more than 18 years ago, ended in that game against Toronto. And for those who saw the end of that game, it came down to the final seconds. LeBron had the ball. And what we've seen LeBron do over his career, instead of taking a shot that maybe wasn't a great shot but could have tied the game and put him in double figures, he passes it out to the corner for Roy Hachimura, who it's a 3-point game winner. The Lakers win that game. No, LeBron didn't get the double figures, but the Lakers got the dub. And honestly, I think that's been a characteristic of LeBron's entire career. And, you know, for a guy who is accomplished and has done as much, if not everything, more than any other player in the history of the NBA, I still think he takes so much criticism. And to me, that kind of symbolized the teammate that LeBron James has been.
Well, Scooter, at this particular point in your career, if you're LeBron James, what means more? You know, you guys need that win. If you keep your streak going, so what? You still who you are. You know, you're still LeBron James. You're still the king. Nothing has changed. You know, and LeBron James definitely has been criticized for making the right play instead of making the, you know, the all-star or the GOAT move that everybody else would expect him to make.
No doubt. I mean, you know, he did that in the NBA Finals, passing up shots to you know, Darnell Marshall, throwing him the basketball when a lot of people were like, you should take that. But to me, I don't know. I mean, he was asked after the game about it and, you know, his thoughts on not getting to the 10 points. He's like, I have none. We got the W. But, I mean, High Flyer, we're not and I agree with you, but we're not talking about game 75 of the season where the Lakers are fighting for a 1 or 2 seed. We're still talking early in December of a season. I mean, I'm not saying that every other player would have been selfish in taking that shot, but I mean, it's still a pretty selfless move given the situation, in my opinion.
It is a selfless move, Scott, but like I'm saying, at this particular point in LeBron James's career, what difference does it make? Like I said, if your streak goes down, so what? It's a streak of you scoring more than 10 points in a game. I mean, how many times do you think that stat is going to come up after tonight? Not too many. Not too many people are concerned about LeBron James not scoring more than 10 points.
Not at all. And it's just, to put it in perspective, I mean, it's more than 300 games than the next guy. So it's just it's kind of incredible to me, that streak, when you think about consistency. When we talk baseball, you think about Cal Ripken and a streak of consecutive games played. I mean, to show up and score double figures like he has for over 18 years, it's a remarkable stat. Remarkable stat. Understanding that, how old the dude is and how many years he's played in the league, that just goes to show the body of work that he puts in. But like I said, but at the end of the day, it's us, the media, it's the league that keeps all these random stats that, okay, some people might care about, but for the majority, think about this. The majority of Laker fans, what are they going to remember? Are they going to remember the day that LeBron didn't score 10 points, or the day that they won that basketball game? The basketball game, to me, is more important than LeBron personal accolades. And I agree with you. I just kind of put it in a juxtapose it, right? Because, it was against the Raptors where Kobe Bryant had his monster scoring game as well, right? It's just kind of funny. I mean, if Kobe were in that situation, the great Kobe Bryant, one of the greatest of all times as well, I can't picture him passing that basketball.
We know what Kobe's going to do. Exactly.
Yeah.
But the thing about it is that, LeBron has always been that guy. Like I said, he's always gotten the criticism, and that's one part to where I never have criticized LeBron, because he makes the right play.
Exactly.
He makes the right play. We've heard Kobe say time and time again, a bad shot by me is better than a wide open shot by you.
No doubt. Of course, Kobe went for 81 that day against the Raptors. But yeah, and it reflected on me. LeBron's entire career, right? And I just thought it was a great moment for him, and obviously it was a great moment for the Lakers, who won. Who, again, they're 16-6. We've talked about the Rockets, who are now 15-5. You've got OKC at 22-1. The Lakers are sitting right there at 16-6, right in the thick of things.
And then you got to look at it this way too, Scott. At this particular point in LeBron James's career, he got a year left?
Yeah,
maybe. Two, pushing it, but it's coming down to the last final few, right? So at this particular point, he want to get as close as he can to another championship, and he ain't worried about, I'm going to break my streak.
No question about that. So LeBron's certainly in the right mindset, no doubt about it. It's hard to know, as we look at one of the other stars in the league, Giannis Antetokounmpo, where things are at with him. The latest now, he suffered a calf injury, and he's expected to miss up to 4 weeks, according to Doc Rivers. We know there's been a lot of dissension in Milwaukee. They're not off to a good start. A lot of trade talks with Giannis. Rumors are he wants to go to New York. Now he's out with a calf injury. He could miss up to a month. Who knows? Maybe we've seen Giannis in his last game in a Bucks uniform.
Maybe. I watched that move, and, Scott, we talk about it all the time because we've seen plenty of them, as far as when your Achilles go, when you fall like that or make a move like that and you look back like somebody touched you and you're all by yourself, 9 times out of 10, it's that Achilles. So, I thought it was done. I was like, ooh, well, the dude tore his Achilles. But if they say it's a strained calf, a la Kevin Durant, a la Tyrese Halliburton,
right?
You know what's coming down the pipe in a minute.
Right. The one thing you're not going to do, the one thing that the league has learned, because they saw it the hard way twice in NBA Finals, and certainly you're not going to do in the regular season, you're not going to bring anybody back quickly after a calf injury, knowing what the possible next step is, and especially when you're talking about one of the great players of the game.
Right. One of the faces of your team, of the league as we speak. They're not going to definitely, I would say if he comes back by All-Star break, maybe. Because, that's something that you really want to take a long look at, because I'm sorry, we relived it up close in the finals with Tyrese Halliburton. That really changed the whole perspective of the finals when Reese went down.
No question. That was tough to watch in Game 7 when he came back, just like Durant. They both wanted to play. They both knew they were nursing injuries. They both knew what the worst case could be. They did it anyways. And unfortunately for both of them, it ended up in losses on top of all of that. So the last thing you're going to do is have Giannis Antetokounmpo go down with a massive injury, especially, I mean, you wouldn't do it in any circumstance, but just add another layer on it. If you're Milwaukee and you're possibly thinking about trading him, you're not even going to get anywhere near that.
And then we're going to put this on top of it too, Scott. You know, a player like Tyrese Halliburton, his game definitely isn't predicated on the explosiveness as the Greek Freak. So if it can happen to Reese just running up and down the floor, running a regular play out there, can you imagine what's going to happen when Giannis come down and try to do the things that he does at a normal pace?
No question, no question. All right, we've got to take a break. When we come back, we'll catch up on all the other games around the league. We'll get you caught up on Miami Miami as well, a team that's 14-9. They do it the Pat Riley way. Obviously, they had a lot of dissension last year with Jimmy Butler, who eventually got traded, as we know, to Golden State. But they just continue to find a way to win. What do we need to learn about the Miami way? We'll talk about that when we come back. It's game night right here, Sactown Sports 1140.
Keegan Murray plays here.
Keegan scores another three-pointer. Keegan Murray knocking it down for 23 points. Match De'Aaron Fox for game scoring honors.
Sactown Sports is your proud home of the Sacramento Kings.
Never have I ever called my sister from the finish line of my first marathon.
Hello?
You won't believe where I am.
Are you running?
Mile 26. I'm gonna make it.
Switch to T-Mobile's 55 Plus plan and get iPhone 16e with its advanced camera system on us. Plus 2 lines for just $30 a line.
Guys, I can't believe it.
I knew you could do it, babe.
That was amazing. Mom, how do you feel?
I feel great. I can't feel my feet. Let's take a picture, and then you may carry me to the car.
Share every stride, every mile, every memory on America's best network. Switch to T-Mobile's 55 Plus plan and get iPhone 16e on us and 2 lines for just $30 a line.
With 24 monthly bill credits and 2 eligible port-ins on Essentials 55 Plus for well-qualified customers with autopay plus taxes, fees, and $35 device connection charge. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. Contact us. Finance agreement 128 gigabytes, $599.99 required. Best mobile network in the U.S. based on analysis by Ookla of Speed Test Intelligence data 1H 2025. Visit T-Mobile.com.
This 49ers Red Zone Report is being brought to you by Mountain Mike's Pizza. Pizza the way it ought to be.
Shotgun snap for Purdy. Fakes the give. He runs left. He's got a nose for the goal line, and he's in for a 49ers touchdown. Reed opted in a celebration for the quarterback, Brock Purdy. The toe looks just fine on a 2-yard scamper, and the Niners lead 16-8. Purdy looks left, throws left, and a head-high catch made at the V in Cleveland by DeJuan Jennings for a 49ers touchdown.
Ready, set, win big. When the 49ers win, you score. With 49% off any large pizza, only at Mountain Mike's Pizza. Celebrate every game day with your favorites from our legendary crispy, curly pepperoni, bold sauced up wings, garlic butter drenched sides, and gooey sweet desserts, all hot, fresh, and built for a Niners victory. Download the Mountain Mike's app, join Mountain Rewards, and turn every Niners win into a pizza party. Let's go Niners! Mountain Mike's Pizza. Pizza the way it ought to be.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health Sacramento will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
At Elk Grove Honda, our recipe for happy holidays is to think Happy Honda Days. Let's explain. Happy is a good thing. We all like happy. Happy stands for quality, reliability, comfort, design, peace of mind, value at resale, and a lot more important words. And days is how long you you have to take advantage of Elk Grove Honda's 2025 Accord, Pilot, and Ridgeline year-end clearance underway right now. Elk Grove Honda is located in the Elk Grove Auto Mall, Highway 99 at Elk Grove Boulevard, or on the web at elkgrovehonda.com.
I gotta get an Elk Grove Honda.
KHD HD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
This is Sactown Sports 1140.
Back in the game night right here, Sactown Sports 1140. Scott Marshall on with the high flyer, Henry Turner. Kings and Heat, Sacramento just 5-17. It felt like the Kings maybe were going to get back into a winning groove, a winning stretch after those impressive wins against Denver on the road, Minnesota at home. But since then, it's been 4 more losses, a 26-point blowout Wednesday in Houston. Hopefully, they can turn things around now against this Miami team. Henry, it's time now for a new feature segment. It's the Marin Bank Put It in the Bank. All right? And what I'm going to put in the bank, normally I'm going to ask you for something that you think is an automatic, but I've got one right here. And since we're playing the Miami Heat, I'm going to put it in the bank that the Miami Heat are going to do it the Heat way, and Pat Riley's going to do it his way, and it doesn't matter what superstar we're talking about. The Miami Heat have a culture that they live up to, and they find a way to get it done every year. Case in point, they're 14-9 again this year, just rolling right through things, and they're doing it the Miami Heat way.
They do, Scott. And, the one thing that you can say about the Miami Heat is that they have Heat culture, a.k.a. Pat Riley culture. Pat Riley runs that team, and they go as Pat Riley say they go. So I have to give them that. But if you want to think about one thing that I want to put in the bank, I'm going to put something.
Put it in.
I'm going to put something from the Sacramento Kings in the bank. I'm going with a double-double by Keegan Murray. Keegan Murray has really come back to this team playing at a very high level, doing a little bit of everything that they ask him to do. Defend, score, rebound, be a leader. Keegan Murray has really stepped his game up since he's come back off the injury.
He has. He's been consistent. He's come back, just didn't lose a step at all. In fact, maybe showing improvement from year 3. So I have to agree with you on that. There's no doubt about that one.
Yeah, Keegan's my guy. We're going to put that in the bank. Double-double for Keegan tonight.
Okay, you got it. I'm marking that down. So that's the Marin Bank. Put it in the bank. Banker Marin helps businesses score big with fast decisions and local bankers. Bankofmarin.com, member FDIC. That's our Bank of the Marin. Put it in the bank. Proud to have them as new sponsors of game nights. Excellent local bank in our area. All right, let's break down the Miami Heat a little bit, high flyer. As we know, Pat Riley runs that ship. He's been there a long time. Who knows how much longer he'll be at the helm of that. Pat Riley's now in his 80s, I believe. But boy, what a standard he has set. And, of course, they've just had the continuity. We've seen that with the San Antonio Spurs for so long. Miami just fits in that way with Eric Spoelstra as well. You know what you're going to get year in and year out with the Miami Heat.
No doubt. And, you talk about how long Pat's going to be there. I think even when Pat leaves, Eric Spoelstra has been such a sponge under Pat Riley that he probably will slide right into that position, and the Miami Heat and the culture will still continue until Eric leaves.
No doubt about it. And I think it was really shown last year. I mean, Jimmy Butler was venting his unhappiness. And, Miami just wasn't going to put up with that. Now, Jimmy Butler found a home in Golden State, so it wasn't like they sent him off to somewhere he didn't want to go. But, again, it was a case in point where Miami didn't blink, didn't back down.
And you know what? Here's the thing. This came from Norm Powell. I heard someone say Norm Powell did an interview, and he said that, when he left the Clippers, he thought he was in pretty good shape. He was in some of the best shape that he has ever been in. He said, but once he got to Miami and went through a couple of camp days with Miami, he was like, what the hell is this? I'm not in camp shape. And Bam Adebayo just came over and laughed at him and said, hey, man, this is how we do. This is how we go. He said, this is all I've ever known, so this is how we do here in Miami. He was like, man, I ain't done this in years. So that just goes to show that they run a different type system in Miami, man, and really, and it shows on the floor.
No doubt. It's old school, and I think if there's ever been a knock on Pat Riley, especially as a coach, is that he did practice his team into the ground. There were complaints with that during the Showtime Laker days where maybe his voice got a little old towards the end of that run just because of the 3-hour practices and everything else. And then, of course, in New York, we know how tough those Knicks teams were as well. When he was coaching there in New York, he brought that same style to the Heat. But the common denominator is Pat Riley's been one of the greatest winners in NBA history.
You know, Scooter, I always think about when people get to complaining about practicing and trying to get greatness out of your players. You know, Pat Riley has definitely been that guy, but very successful. All right?
Yep.
You know, Coach Tibbs has been that guy, but very successful. I mean, let's take it back to entertainment. Joe Jackson.
Yep.
Okay. Joe Jackson from the Jackson 5. Practiced those guys to death, but he had almost pure perfection. You know, in order for you to take something to that next level, I'm sorry, bro, it takes practice. You don't get that way just by lollygagging. You really have to push it to the next level.
No doubt. Speaking of Norman Powell, he's thriving in a starting role with the Heat. Had 28 in the loss last night. We all know about Bam Adebayo. I mean, he could be the new figurine for the NBA if he wanted to, with the body he has, just chiseled out of granite. This is the Miami Heat team again that's physical. They're big. They're the type of team that, as we know, gives the Kings tremendous amounts of problems.
Yeah. You know, any team that has a low post presence, you know, one of those situations to where, you know, you got a guy that dominates the boards. You got a guy that, you know, really likes to hang around the rim, or you got a big, long, lean guy that all he has to do is catch the ball and finger roll it over the top. Those are the type of guys that really hurt the Sacramento Kings. Now, seeing that Bam might be an anomaly by himself with that, as far as, you know, what the Miami Heat put out there on the floor, the Kings might be able to combat that with just Bam. Just one guy that's going to kill you.
Yeah.
But the Kings really have to understand that it has to be done collectively. Think about it. One guy is not going to stop Bam on our basketball team. It's going to take a collective group that's going to have to come down there, box him out, be able to get rebounds, be able to get out in transition.
No doubt. And, of course, they have the 7-footer in Khalil Ware as well, which will be somebody the Kings will have to contend with. Tyler Hero, we'll see if he plays tonight or not. He missed the first 17 games dealing with a toe situation. He did not play last night in Orlando. I know they're not playing him back-to-back, so that probably does mean that he will play tonight. We'll have to look at that injury report to see if he's in the lineup. But as we know, when Tyler Hero plays, he's one of the best outside shooters in the game.
Another guy that can, you know, put up big-time points. He's pretty much one of the head of their snakes. I mean, they definitely have a three-headed snake. Bam Adebayo, Norm Powell, and Tyler Hero. And then they got some very good complementary guys that's coming off the bench. You know, they got some guys that come off the bench that really help them be the team that they are. So it's just not those three. It's those three and the Miami Heat as a team.
Yes, the Heat culture. Now, we did get word, Ramsey looking up for us, that Tyler Hero will not play tonight. It has been announced that he's out again tonight. So that is a little bit of a break for the Kings, no doubt about it.
Right, but they got other guys that come off the bench.
True.
You know, Jaime Hawkhead, I mean, one of the best finds that Miami has went out and plucked out, because nobody knew that this guy plays as hard as he does. He's come to Miami and really putting it down. You know, they got a couple other jump shooters that come off, and then we still haven't even mentioned, you know, the Tasmanian Devil that came over from Sacramento and Davion Mitchell.
That is true. We didn't mention that, and obviously, Davion Mitchell was a big part of what the Heat have been doing. I mean, in a starting role, and, we saw him here in Sacramento. We knew what he could do on the defensive end, and I think, Henry, when we saw him get a chance to start when De'Aaron Fox was out, we saw a different Davion Mitchell. He was more aggressive offensively, different player. And now he's getting a chance to start in Miami. He's become that different player again.
Scott, it was all about being comfortable. And I said this early on when Davion Mitchell was here. You know, when De'Aaron Fox was out, he was hurt. We knew he wasn't on the bench. Davion Mitchell played at a higher level because he knew he didn't have to look over his shoulder every mistake that he made. When De'Aaron Fox was available, Davion Mitchell knew that his leash was very small. So now the pressure's on. You're a totally different ball club. I mean, totally different ball player.
No doubt. And Ramsey, I'm going to bring you up right now because every time I mention a name, you whisper in my ear he's out. So Davion Mitchell is out as well. Tyler Hero's out. Anybody else we should be aware of now that the final list is out for injuries for tonight?
Tyler Hero's out. Davion Mitchell is out. Pella Larson is out. Obviously, Terry Rozier is out for obvious reasons. Available.
Yes.
Jaime Jaquez Jr., Nikola Jovic, Norman Powell's available. Drew Smith is shown as probable, and Andrew Wiggins is available.
Forgot about Wiggins.
Okay. That's true. Wiggins is there, too, part of the Jimmy Butler deal. Ramsey, thank you for that. For the Kings, no Dennis Schroeder again tonight. We talked about Sabonis being out, but, again, there's no excuses for the Kings, and obviously not having Sabonis there hurts. Not having Dennis Schroeder off the bench has really hurt Sacramento. I mean, they had him for the 2 wins. They haven't had him in these last 4 losses off the bench. They won't have him for a 5th game here tonight.
Yeah, when it comes down to having another guy out there on the floor that can handle the basketball, that can facilitate, that can get to the rim and knock down shots, from the three-point line. He's definitely been, a 3-level scorer for the Sacramento Kings. But I think where they mostly miss Dennis at is on a defensive end, Scott, being able to guard somebody. And then again, to be able to handle the basketball. The Kings are turning the basketball over at a very alarming rate. There's no way that you could come in firstly undermanned and then turn the basketball over the way that they do.
No doubt. All right, game night being brought to you by the Big Brothers and Big Sisters of Sacramento, especially in this season of Christmas and giving. Maybe the best thing you can give is your time. What about being a volunteer mentor to a kid in our community who could use an outside mentor in their life? For just a few hours a month, you can impact the life of a child. Think about that. Is there anything greater that you could do in this world? Call 916-646-9300 or visit bbbs-sac.org. Again, BBBS, Big Brothers, Big Sisters-sac.org. to learn more about it. More of Game Night when we come back. We'll break down what the Kings need to do tonight in Miami to get their 6th win of the year. Game Night right here, Sactown Sports 1140.
Malik Monk plays here.
Started left, goes right, steps back, launches the 3. Nothing but net. Oh, that was just filthy. Oh, my, that was sweet.
Sactown Sports is your proud home of the Sacramento Kings.
Power Business Technology is proud to be a 100% independent, locally owned and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a Toshiba ProMasters Elite Dealer since 2021. Contact us today for all of your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729. Or visit us at powercopiers.com.
Sacramento, the wait is over. The all-new Hard Rock Sports Bar is here at Hard Rock Hotel and Casino Sacramento at Fire Mountain. Enjoy the ultimate 24/7 sports watching destination with 20 big screens with all the action for the premier game day experience. There's no other place you'd want to be to watch all the games with you and your friends. Now open at Hard Rock Hotel and Casino Sacramento at Fire Mountain. For more details, visit casino.hardrock.com/Sacramento.
With Steel, batteries are included. This holiday season, give a gift that's ready to go right out of the box. For everything from cleaning up the yard to cutting up firewood, Steel tools check off the wish list and knock out the to-do list. And right now, buy select battery tool sets and get a free extra battery. Visit SteelUSA.com for holiday deals and gift ideas. Happy holidays from Steel. Offer valid for a limited time only at participating dealers while supplies last.
This message comes from Viking, committed to exploring the world in comfort. Journey through the heart of Europe on an elegant Viking longship with thoughtful service, destination-focused dining, and cultural enrichment on board and on shore. With small ships that bring travelers closer to the destination, there's more time to explore. And every Viking voyage is all-inclusive, with no children and no casinos. Discover more at Viking.com.
Progressive presents Employee of the Month.
Small Business Edition. Today's recipient from Michaela's Mobile Spa, Michaela! Michaela got a quick business insurance quote from Progressive and chose from over 30 customizable coverages. Sure, it helps she's her only employee and does literally everything, but while others would rest on their laurels, Michaela was hard at work saving big. So take that, hypothetical other employee who doesn't exist. Be your own Michaela. See if you could save in as little as 8 minutes at ProgressiveCommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Coverage is not available in all states or for all vehicles and coverage selections.
Quiet down, here she comes. Surprise! Your accountant just emailed to say your quarterly taxes are way higher than you were expecting.
At Progressive, we know small business owners don't usually like surprises because they cost you money. But a good surprise that could save you money? Getting discounts with a commercial auto quote from Progressive.
Also, your favorite employee is leaving. They're going to pursue their dream of being a veterinarian.
Surprise yourself. See if you can save in as little as 8 minutes at ProgressiveCommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Discounts not available in all states or situations.
Business moves fast, and so do we. At Bank of Marin, we team up with businesses in the greater Sacramento area to help you drive the lane and score big. With dedicated relationship bankers and local decision making, we help you move quickly, whether you're upgrading equipment, buying your next building, streamlining cash flow, or fueling growth. From expansion to investment, we're ready to help you win. Bank of Marin, your local business bank. Visit us at bankofmarin.com. Member FDIC.
Bullies with Bullies Part 3. Messi Moore, Juice, Fillmore, Hunters Point.
It's 11:40. Scott Marshall on with the high flyer Henry Turner. I'm out here at UC Davis. Later on tonight, I'll have the call here on Sactown Sports for the second round FCS playoff game. It's the UC Davis Aggies taking on the Rhode Island Rams. That game will be joined in progress at the conclusion of our Kings Miami broadcast. Kings Live pregame coming up at the bottom of the hour. Jason Ross will be in with the high flyer for that. Our final segment here, Henry. Let's first get to our Who's on Fire. It's brought to you by the Firehouse Restaurant. Level up your pregame at the Firehouse for a quick and easy meal. They've got valet parking there for just $10. I'm going to throw out there for Who's on Fire as we get the music going. I love that. Thank you, Ramsey. I'm going to go with the Memphis Grizzlies high flyer. They've won 6 of 8. They came into Golden One Center. They had just 5 wins. They had the same amount of wins as Sacramento did. And now they're at 10 right now. This team's on a roll. They're playing much better basketball right now. And, they've won 6 of their last 8. And this is a team that's trending without, of course, Ja Morant. And I'm really interested to see what the Grizz do with the Ja Morant situation. But they're playing some really good basketball right now. They're 10-13. But as I said, they've won 6 of their last 8.
I mean, you would really want to know how they feel about that, because, see, understanding that, yeah, you're playing good basketball without Ja, right? You're being able to generate some wins on the basketball floor. Do you look at this as an opportunity to say, okay, we can move on from Ja? Or do you look at this situation and say, we're balling without Ja, but can you imagine where we'll be if we put him back into this lineup?
No doubt. And this is our first chance to do game night together since that Memphis game. What was your take on the Grizz?
They said they still played hard, and Scott, that's something that has been since Ja has been there. JJ has always had, a couple of guys on his team to where whenever Ja went out, they really didn't miss him. Understanding that they don't have Desmond Bane that they can, rely on anymore.
Right.
Because I really thought, he really made up for a lot when Ja went out. They don't have him to put out on the floor. But still, the Memphis Grizzlies were always able to find a way to win basketball games when Ja was out for whatever reason.
No doubt. So, all right. The Memphis Grizzlies getting our Firehouse Restaurant Who's on Fire for today. Firehouse Restaurant, just an iconic restaurant, especially during the holidays. Great place to go. Take your date, take your family, or your company outing. Great banquet hall and lots of rooms that can accommodate large groups, the Firehouse Restaurant. All right, High Flyer, let's break this one down today for Sacramento. Again, trying to break a 4-game losing skid. We talked about Zach LaVine. Obviously, he's got to get more involved offensively. We know what Maxine Reynaud is doing. He's going to get more playing time as this thing continues along. But for Sacramento, how do they find themselves back to where they were when it felt like maybe they were going to be trending upward, winning those games against Denver and Minnesota?
Playing with a bunch of energy, Scott, playing with a bunch of effort. understanding that it has to be done collectively. Not one guy is going to come in here and change his ball club around. Keegan Murray, as good as he is, came in and helped. But he wasn't the whole pie. He was just a piece of what the Sacramento Kings needed out there on the floor. So now other guys got to pick their game up. You really have to change the way you play. Running a half-court offense isn't conducive for the Kings winning a basketball game. Coming down on a set defense and just trying to figure out a way how to score without being able to get in the transition, without being able to utilize the free throw line isn't conducive for Sacramento Kings to be able to win a basketball game. They really have to play towards their strengths in order for them to win.
No doubt about that. They need to get some easy buckets for sure. And a team like Miami, again, if you let them rough you up, they certainly will. We know there's not a tougher big in the league than Bam Adebayo. Another team that likes to get after it on the glass. They like to out-muscle you, and the Kings are going to have to be up for that challenge tonight.
And not just that, Scott, but be able to play basketball without turning the basketball over. You talk about that third quarter when the Houston Rockets just went crazy and blew the Kings out in the third quarter. Well, they turned the basketball over at a very Herculean rate at that particular time, and that enabled the Rockets to get out and score.
No doubt. That third quarter in Houston felt as bad as that first quarter in Phoenix against Phoenix at home when the Kings had 7 turnovers and no assists in that first quarter, that 41-16 blowout. That was kind of reminiscent of what we saw on Wednesday.
Right. You can't win basketball games turning the ball over, not even getting an attempt to the rim. So that's another thing that the Kings can't allow Miami to turn them over. First of all, they already play more aggressive than you. If they turn you over and get out in the transition, it's going to be a long night.
All right, let's hope it isn't. All right, that's going to do it for Game Night High Flyer. Have a great call tonight.
Yes, sir.
All right, Jason Ross will be in for Kings Live pregame. Hopefully the Kings got some good sun in South Beach. They're relaxed. They're ready to go for this one, well rested after having a couple of days off. It's the Kings versus the Rockets. Kings Live pregame up next. And again, it's a 5 o'clock tip from Miami. We got you covered. Keep it tuned here all evening long. Kings basketball and then UC Davis following that right here. Sactown Sports, 1140.
On the move? Got somewhere to be?
Take Sacramento Kings basketball with you. The Sactown Sports app will let you stay connected to your passion. Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with the